Joe, Jaylen had a game-high 12 assists. What did you see from him, both in terms of his facilitating, getting everyone involved, but also the leadership that he demonstrated tonight?
Yeah, I think his leadership came on the defensive end, just with his physicality and his presence. Thought the dive into the bench kind of changed the game for us. There was other game-changing plays, but I thought that was one of them. So he was just great on all levels. Just took it, took it upon himself to guard Brunson, set the tone, and he did that on both ends.
Joe, what led to you going to Fluke there to start the second half? And can you speak just to how big of a boost he gave you guys in that third quarter? Luke.
Yeah, he was great. Just both ends of the floor. Did a great job protecting the rim, did a great job defending without fouling, did a great job on both ends of the floor. So I just thought his presence was good, especially on the rebounding. Had 9 rebounds, 2 offensive ones. He made some big time plays for us.
Joe, Luke's positioning, his ability to occupy space in the dunker spot and just on both ends of the floor, how have you seen him improve? Has he always been good at that? How big are those little adjustments underneath the basket for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's just good at being in the right place at the right time, anticipating the play on both ends. So can go to different layers of our defense, can do different stuff on offense, but it's just his basketball IQ. He works at it. He's also a really smart player. Works hard.
Joe, how good was it to get Sam back tonight?
It was great. Another layer of a different level of offensive pace. And I think he had some good defensive stops, but I was getting another guy out there that could move, screen, cut, facilitate, create 2-on-1s in different ways. I thought he gave us some good stuff.
Joe, quicker subs, it felt like tonight, going to Pritchard, going to Cornette. In a situation like this, when you're in an elimination game, when you see, maybe certain lineups or certain things might be a better way to go, how much do you have to adjust in that moment to go to some decisions like that quicker? How much do you alter your coaching approach in an elimination game?
Drew had 2 fouls, so we went with Peyton early. So, you have to adjust in that situation. But at the end of the day, you just, that's something that we've always done. Just play different lineups, do what makes sense, try to win the matchup on both ends of the floor. Obviously, foul trouble played in some of the substitutions that we made, in both halves.
Joe, is this the most connected you felt like the group was on both ends of the floor tonight, just in terms of flow, creating shots, and also on the defensive end with switching off and so forth?
I mean, it's tough to say. I mean, this team's been around they've been around a long time. They've done stuff together. I think it was just we did what was necessary to do what we needed to do to get back to New York. So made winning plays on both ends of the floor. Each guy, everybody in that locker room has another layer that they can get to. And, they did that as the game went on, and we just have to continue to do that. But it's a credit to the guys in the locker room. Get another shot to play.
Joe, kind of following that up with an emotional, I'm sure, couple of days, how did you like the response from your team in an elimination game with everything they've been through and the way they came out tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, whatever it is that we got to go through, there's no bunch of people I'd rather do it than the guys in that locker room. It's that simple. And they made enough plays to win. Gave us another chance to play.
Joe, you've always trusted your core lineup. You don't change the main lineup a ton. You trust your top players. So making the switch going away from KP for the second half, just how difficult of a decision has it been kind of maybe evaluating that throughout the series and then making that call tonight?
He couldn't breathe, and so he was available if absolutely necessary, and so that was just a decision between me and him. He was having just difficulties breathing, but he wanted to be out there, and if we absolutely needed him, we would have been able to go to him and rely on him. But you've seen a lot of that this year. Changing the lineup at halftime is something that we've done a lot, this year, because it just adds a different dimension and can change sub patterns throughout the game. So. It's a credit to the guys just buying into what gives us the best chance to win each and every night. And, I know KP will be ready for us.
Joe, stylistically, without Jason, what did you guys focus on? What do you need to do without him to be at your best?
Again, you never want to be without any of your players, especially one of your best ones, but we've gotten plenty of reps at that. And regardless of who the player is out, each guy steps up and plays a different role. And so, we have multiple identities on both ends of the floor, and tonight we were able to tap into, one of the ones that we have without him, and we just got to continue to do that.
And you guys don't often find yourselves with your backs against the wall. And, here you are in probably the toughest situation. What is it about your team that's able to respond in these moments?
I mean, that's just who they are as people. I mean, just the character of those guys. Been around a lot of these guys. Been around the league a long time, and they've seen a lot. And to me, you just rely on the character of the guys, the togetherness, the staff. At the end of the day, you don't get to pick the test that you have. You just pick how you respond to them, and and that's kind of how life works.
Joe, they didn't score for the last 3:12 of the third, so you ended that quarter well. Was there anything you guys did differently with the big lead? And it seemed like you were more aggressive, passed up good shots for great shots. It just seemed like you guys were a little bit more intentional in the fourth quarter.
I mean, I probably kept our pace. We lost the first quarter, and then we bounced back and able to win the second and the third. To me, I think we just kind of kept the pressure on both ends of the floor. I think those plays that impact leads and impact winning, transition, leak out dunks, offensive rebound threes, the momentum plays, the things that can impact those, we minimize those tonight, and we have to continue to do that.
And sorry, what's the kind of the feeling now? You live to fight another day. I mean, how does the approach change any that you're going back to New York? Is there a sense of, I don't know, satisfaction, but just like, okay, one step and now I take the next one?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to keep it in. I mean, 4 hours ago, we just had to win one game. Now we just have to win one game, and that's just kind of how you have to look at it. So we got to win one road game. Obviously, they're going to play their absolute best. And, we're going to have to do whatever it takes. But I think, just constantly looking at it, I just got to win one game and take it from there.
Joe, the game really seemed to change in the third quarter there. What adjustments, if any, did you make at the half to give your team that advantage?
I mean, Luke started, which, I thought his presence kind of changed a little bit. I think they had, I can't remember how many offensive rebounds they had in the first half, but it felt like a lot, and I think we minimized that in the third quarter. We were able to take some of those away. But yeah, I mean, usually if there's a less than a 25-point quarter, you didn't foul, you got back in transition, and you kind of rebounded the basketball at a high level. I think we had one turnover in the second half. So we were able to generate most of our possessions into shots, and we have to be able to continue to do that. Thank you, Joe. Thanks.
Derrick, seeing Luke step up the way he did, I mean, he was barking at the crowd in the third quarter. Like, how hyped up did that get you guys? Like, just what did that mean to see that along with like the actual impact he made on changing that game?
Yeah, he was unbelievable. I mean, he came in and just seemed to be always in the right position, and 7 blocks is crazy, and he was unbelievable tonight and really stepped up when we needed him. So he's had a great season, and it was big time for us tonight.
Were you guys barking with him?
Yeah, I was barking with him. It's just fun to see him do that.
Derrick, obviously, you guys lose Jason Tatum just the other night. How much of this win did it feel like it was emotional or kind of for him, or how much were you guys thinking about him as you were preparing, and then also just balancing the fact that you guys really need to win this game at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, losing JT's tough, especially for how much work he puts into the game and works on his body and like everything he does to go out and compete every night. And so seeing him go down was tough, but we got a lot of guys out here that are highly competitive, and we didn't want our season to end tonight. So just going out there competing. We said after game 4 we just got to win game 5, and now we got to move on to try to find a way to win game 6.
Derrick, Jaylen said on Monday after the game that you guys still have enough in the locker room. I believe in my guys. We've just got to come out and be ready to fight. And then Joe pointed to his play tonight in the third quarter where he dives in front of your bench to keep the play alive. Just what did you see from him in terms of a leadership perspective tonight?
Yeah, JB was unbelievable on both sides of the ball for the whole time he was out there. And I mean, yeah, he took it on himself to get us going, and we just followed his lead. So great game for 48 minutes, and really carried us.
Derrick, you had it going early. Those 4 threes that you hit in the first quarter, what was the ball feeling like as it went off your fingertips?
I mean, it felt good. I got really good looks, especially to start the game, and so it's always nice to get those good looks and just shoot it with confidence. So shout out to my teammates for finding me, and just got to rise up there and knock them down.
Derrick, you guys have bounced back from a lot of different things over the last several years. What was this like for you guys as a group, losing Tatum, as you mentioned, but just trying to respond and also fight back and get back into this series?
Yeah, like I said, we got a lot of people that highly competitive, and we got a lot of talent in that locker room. So seeing our brother go down was tough, and I mean, he texted us today before the game, like he's cheering us on. So, I mean, that was cool to hear, and go out there and compete and win a game.
Kind of following up on that, it seems like this group kind of responds in these types of moments where you have your back against the wall, things are tough. And Joe also mentioned having multiple identities. What was the identity we saw tonight in your view, and why do you guys respond so well in these types of moments?
I mean, our back's against the wall. It's win or go home at this moment, so none of us want to go home. And so we understand that it's only going to get tougher. We haven't done anything yet. Just got to find a way to go to New York and win a game.
Derrick, Jason goes down. All of the talk out on the outside is very final. It's talking about it like the season was over, talking about moves that are going to be made over the summer while there was still a game to be played. Did you guys hear the tone of that talk? Did it resonate? Did you guys get upset about the way you guys were being discussed?
No, I didn't hear nothing. I mean, there's always talk. I mean, the good talk, the bad talk. I try to just block it all out. And, I mean, we came in yesterday, watched film, and kind of looked each other in the eye as ready to go. And we got a lot of guys that have won a lot of games at a high level, and obviously there's no replacing JT and what he does for us, but we believe in the guys we got.
Along those lines, no replacing JT, but that means you have to play a little bit different. Maybe you rely on him, and there's some standing and watching, like as he's making a play. Do you guys feel like you need to play a little bit differently, a different identity to win the games without him?
Obviously. I mean, it's not like someone can step in and do what JT does at the level that he does it. So gonna have to play a little differently and just find ways to create offense, to rebound, just everything he does on the court. Like everybody's got to step up, and so we did that tonight, and got to find a way to win Game 6.
Derrick, there's been a lot of teams over the years that, when faced with adversity, can pull it together and channel that emotion for a game. How challenging is it to get that same emotion again a second time, and what do you do to get there?
I mean, like I said, our back's against the wall. We understand that it's just going to get more difficult, and I think they're thinking we got to play better, and they'll make adjustments, and we got to make adjustments back. So, I mean, this is the NBA playoffs, and you wouldn't expect anything different. So, go out there, compete at a high level, do what we need to do, and try to find a way to win a game.
Derrick, last question for you. Off the court, you and Jason are quite close friends. So I'm wondering, after the injury goes down, the last couple of days, for you as his friend, what has your reaction been, and kind of how have you mentally kind of pulled yourself off the map after seeing him go down? I know he's obviously okay, but there are still a bit of a shock from these kinds of things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously it's tough to see. I texted him, and but it's kind of all I could do really is to text him and just tell him that we believe in him and know that he's gonna have a great comeback from this setback. And so really not much I can do, especially at this moment, but I'm gonna support him throughout his whole journey, and I know he's gonna do everything he needs to do to get back out there with us.
Thank you, Derrick. Jaylen, after Jason went down, a lot of the talk around the team or on the outside felt very final, that things were over, people were talking about next season already, the off season already. Did you guys hear any of that talk? Did that bother you?
I can only speak for myself. I'm not sure about the rest of the guys, but what I will say is I appreciate the fans that showed up tonight. You know, it was a great atmosphere. It was loud, you know, and I know it's easy to kind of write things off. Obviously, unfortunate what happened to JT, but we still got basketball to be played. You know, I believe in this group, so, you know, don't count us out just yet.
And what was the message? You know, you obviously had the initial shock. You move on to, you know, ahead of this game and the rest of the series. What is the message? What's like the rallying cry, so to speak, in the locker room?
Defense. That's all I'm talking about is defense. It's just nothing easy. You know, guard your yard. You know, find a way to get stops. Dig deep. You know, mano y mano. You know, win your matchups. Play defense. And that's pretty much been the emphasis.
Speaking of defense, Luke Cornett comes in, changes the game in the third quarter. You guys always have a lot of fun with him, kind of laughing with him, laughing at him, somewhere in between. Like, how does he bring fun energy into such a serious moment, and how crucial was that to turning the season around?
Luke was huge tonight, defensively and offensively. Like, he was stellar. And that's the type of performances we need in the playoffs. Like, you know, defensively, getting stops, making plays, big finishes. You got that backwards lob. Luke was great tonight.
Luke, credited you and Al for kind of getting guys together yesterday and talking about the situation, talking about where you guys go from here. What kind of compelled you to do that, and what were you hoping to get across by doing that?
Just come out and play. You know, obviously, the air kind of left the room after hearing the news with JT. So, you know, we didn't want to go out like that. We didn't want to make no excuses. We didn't want to come out and give up or just turn the season in like what everybody else probably would expect. So we just said to the guys, said to each other, let's come out, you know, keep an open mind. Like, just come out and play basketball, be ready to go, and guard your ass off and take it from there. And we was able to find a way to win tonight.
In Game 7 a couple years ago against Miami, Jason got hurt in the first play, and you kind of put a lot of blame on yourself for not being able to handle that and be better for your team. How has your approach changed in such situations and especially now when he's not out there?
Just continue to be aggressive, continue to trust in my game and my development. Tonight was able to find like a flow, a rhythm in the game. We played with a different pace, but defensively we got stops. We still got to do a better job on the glass. Defensively, we did better in the second half. First half, we got to limit them to one shot, but just mindset, mentality. You know, next play. You know, faith, consistency, and hard work pays off.
Jaylen, how do you view your role? Obviously, Jason's going to be out for a long time, you know, even into next year, carrying the franchise forward, you know, being a leader. Like, how do you know, I know it's just a couple of days now, but how do you view your role in carrying this team forward here?
Just be who I am. And I think that's it. You know, just be myself, come out, be aggressive, and, you know, get it done in multiple ways. You know, it's a team. We've always been a team. I've always preached team. I've done whatever, you know, to kind of push this team forward. So whatever is needed of me, you know, I'm excited to be able to, you know, facilitate in whatever role. So it could change each game, each night, defensively, offensively. But the goal is to just lead, just be myself.
Jaylen, how are you able to use Jalen Brunson's aggression against him and to get him into that foul trouble?
You know, just playing the game. JB's tough. You know, I give him all the credit in the world. Like, you know, he's tough. He uses his body well. He's physical. You know, he knows how to sell and get those calls. And he's crafty. He makes tough shots, and he likes those big moments. So, you know, I just was my goal was just to stay between him and the basket. You know what I mean, and just play defense. You know, as best as they allowed me to. I try to keep my hands back without fouling, but just guard. You know, I feel like I can guard with the best of them. So just trying to, you know, keep our hands back and then and motivate our team as well on defense.
Jaylen, how hard did he get you in the stomach with that elbow?
He got me in the groin.
Oh,
and
gotcha. My bad.
yeah, but it's all good. You know, it is what it is. You know, playoffs.
And there was one play where in the fourth quarter, you guys, like 7 minutes left, you passed up an open three and you drove and you found a cutting Drew for a layup. It seemed like the patience up on a big lead and just kind of passing up the good shot for the best shot. Like, what was that mentality like tonight when you had the lead?
Yeah, just being poised and just seeing the help, seeing the defense, and making the right reads, you know, over and over again, you know, just getting to the paint, like what I like to do. And they were collapsing, our guys was moving. We played with pace and was able to find guys on open shots. But right there in that play, just, you know, we up. I could have probably shot that three, but, you know, saw Mitchell Robinson was on me. So that means nobody's at the rim because he was the only big out there. So if he's away from the play, I drive to the paint, that means we're going to get something good. Thank you.